Hey guys, Karen Rose speaking. We're gonna get right on into it. Today's video is gonna be called Black Men Need More Understanding. And without further ado, we're gonna get into the video.
You had a ship full of African men, women, and children who were at the mercy of the captain and all the sailors on that crew. And those men could have sex with anybody they wanted to. The women, the children, and the men.
You had to see 3 months tied down with these white men. There ain't no women there for the most part. When they start bringing women, they weren't even bringing women. They were bringing girls between the ages of 6 and 15 and raping them all. But they also were raping the men. Same things are happening on the plantation to demasculinize the black man.
Control the slave population is to rape a father in front of his sons, or to take the biggest, baddest black man on the plantation and do something horrible to him to completely humiliate and emasculate him so that people won't respect him anymore. And that still happens to this day.
In the Caribbean, they had seasoning plantations, which were plantations used to break the slaves. And one plantation or one place that had a lot of seasoning plantations was Jamaica. And people have to wonder, what were they doing on these seasoning plantations that was worse than what was happening on the regular plantations? Well, one thing that they were doing on these plantations, especially in Jamaica, they were doing a process called buck breaking, where the white supremacist slave owner or the white supremacist overseer would literally rape black men in front of the whole black population in order to break his spirit, in order to break him down as a man, in order to show dominance against him, in order to show the rest of the black population that this is not your leader. I just made your leader submit to me sexually. And this happened a lot in Jamaica. This is why homosexuality is so looked down upon in Jamaican culture today.
And it was a way primarily of cutting down those who would rebel. In other words, it was a matter of power and control and domination. And they would call it buck busting, but it was really butt busting.
Slavery continued until 1865 for about 2 generations, right? So how do you reconcile that? You can no longer bring in Africans, but you still have the business of slavery. So they still needed Africans to do the work down south, especially after the cotton gin was invented. So you had the creation of breeding farms. 2 of the largest slave breeding farms in the United States were on the eastern shore of Maryland and right outside of Richmond, Virginia. They literally bred black people like cattle. They would have a strong black man have sex with a healthy black woman. That woman could be his mother, his sister, his aunt, his cousin. It didn't matter, because the end product was produce a child that I can sell, bodies that I can sell and ship down to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. It was a business.
We had breeding farms in the United States that would put one person from one plantation against another. We even had a system where if you were a breeder, male on one plantation, a female on another plantation, or even on the same plantation, even if you were mother and son, they would mate you. And so I tell a lot of my patients and a lot of my friends, you got to stop using the MF word, because that was a description of what actually happened when the paper bag would go over the head to put one breeder against another when they were related.
On to get a body that I can't even look at? How do I know what's in the box? I said, I mean, if you can't open the box, I can. And I'm going in the box. I had to see, though, what was in there. And I decided then that I would start at his feet and work my way up, maybe gathering strength as I went. I paused at his midsection because I knew he would not want me looking at him. But I saw enough that I knew he was intact. I kept on up until I got to his chin. And then I was forced to deal with his face. I saw his tongue had been choked out and it was lying down on his chin. This eye was out and it was lying about midway the cheek. I looked at this eye and it was gone. I looked at the bridge of his nose, out, and it was lying about midway the cheek. I looked at this eye, and it was gone. I looked at the bridge of his nose, and it looked like someone had taken a meat chopper and chopped it. I looked at his teeth, and I only saw 2 that just been knocked out. I was looking at his ears, and that's when I discovered a hole about here, and I could see daylight on the other side. I said, now, was it necessary to shoot it? If that's a bullet hole, was that necessary? And I also discovered that they had taken an axe and they had gone straight down across.
That far, then go back. No,
Why wouldn't we?
No. It's okay. I'm not. No. Listen, the black man was actually meant to be oppressed in front of the black woman while they were in slavery times. Now we've had hundreds of years. Listen to me. We have hundreds of years of knowledge of this or awareness of this, especially in the last 50 years. More awareness of our actual upbringing as black men and black women in America than ever before. But yet there has been a lack of change. There's been a lack of understanding and a lack of consideration for a black woman to say, we've always had to be strong, and a black man to be like, well, that's because they stripped me away from you against my rights and embarrassed me in front of you for generations, and I couldn't protect you. I didn't have no means to protect you. You don't have to be strong in 2022 no more.
But at
This
what point?
This is not the 13, 14, 15, 1600s where they're embarrassing me in front of all of my black people.
As black women, we have seen our black men go through so much, right? So I feel like we will be okay with them not necessarily bringing all the money to the table because we've seen what has happened to the black family. So a lot of us have grown up in single family homes with our moms taking care of us, maybe sometimes struggling, right? That's not everybody's story, but maybe our dads were in prison, or maybe our dads were working a few jobs or hustling, or whatever the case may be, trying to put food on the table or keep Jordans on our feet, whoever your dad was, right? So when we have someone that we're dating, maybe money isn't always the first thing because we're just like, look, you're alive, okay, you're trying, we're gonna love you and we're okay with that. So I think that there's something within us that's very nurturing, and we are, for me, I'm gonna just speak for myself, like subconsciously in the past, like trying to heal and love my black man despite you falling victim to the systems that were created to make you fail,
And we have been given the false compliment that we are the backbone of the black nation. There is no doubt in any community in this country that the men in those communities are the backbone of their nations. There is no doubt in the white community that the white man is the backbone of his nation. The European, the Buddhist, the Korean, the Japanese, the Hispanic, all of those men are the backbones of their community, and there's no doubt about it. It is only in the black community where those values have been transposed and where they put that burden on us and tell us that we are the backbone of the black community, which is a direct insult to the black man and implies that he don't have no backbone and that his women have to represent him.
Value manhood, value yourself as a man. Yeah. What does it mean to be a man? Being a man doesn't mean being aggressive. Right. We've been taught that manhood is about jumping bad at folks, screaming at folks. That's not manhood. That's more emotional and feminine than anything.
Whenever I went through something, it brought me closer to God. And I stayed into something. So now I'm closer to God. But being closer is hard. The attacks get stronger, become much harder to fight, and they last longer. That's what it's always been. Joy with the pain, dark with the light, sun with the rain. With the right perspective, there can be something to gain. Look for the good and the bad.
Oh man, we're back. This video was hard to watch. I took a clip from Tariq Nasheed's documentary, Buck Breaking. You guys go check that out. It was a good documentary. I also put Mattel in there. Rest in peace to Mattel. And all our ancestors went through was just horrible. And we fight amongst each other so much that we never just try to go to the root of the problem and figure it out. And they don't want to pay us no reparations. But anyways, I don't have much to say, but I'm about to be out of here. I gotta be somewhere. And multiply, divide, and subscribe. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was hard to watch, but thank you guys.